Question 7. So I've highlighted the key parts. Start at this point here. Red is twice the probability that the counter will be white. So we've got 2 missing parts. We need to work them out, and this bit of information will help us. First of all, let's see the probability of blue plus the probability of yellow gives us 0.7. And I know all 4 colours added together have got to equal 1. So what have we got missing? We've got a probability of 0.3 missing. Well, we know red is twice white, so it's 2 to 1, it's double however many. So you can either spot that you know that therefore red's got to be 0.2 and white's 0.1, or using ratio, we've got 2 plus 1 parts, we've got 3 parts in total. 3 parts have got to be equal to 0.3. So what's 1 part going to be? It's going to be that divided by 3. So we know 1 part, which was white here, is going to be 0.1. 2 parts here are going to be 2 lots of 0.1, which is 0.2. So we can fill in those gaps now. Red is 0.2, white is 0.1. Now the next important bit of information is there are 18 blue counters in the bag. And we know the probability of picking a blue counter is 0.45. So we can use that information to find how many are in the bag in total. If you were trying to find the probability of the blue counters, you'd say, well, how many blue counters are there? And you'd divide it by the total number that there are. So replacing the bits that we know that the probability of blue is 0.45. And they've told us also that there's 18 blue counters. We just don't know the total. So doing a bit of rearranging here, I want to find what the total is. So I'm going to make that the subject of the formula, so the bit on its own. I'm going to times by the total on both sides, which will give me 0.45 times by whatever the total is, equals 18. I want to get the total on its own, so I need to divide by 0.45 on both sides. And in order to do this, I want to get rid of the decimal, so I'm going to times by 10 on both the top and the bottom, and I'm going to have to times by 10 on the top and the bottom again to give me 1800 divided by 45, and now I've just got to do that calculation. So that gives me a total of 40. So I know the total number of counters in the bag is 40 counters. So I need to find how many red counters there are in the bag, and to do that I'm going to do the probability of red times by the number of counters, so times by 40. The probability of red is 0.2, times that by 40, we will get 8. So there are 8 red counters in the bag. So we're asked here if the probability that the marble picking out a bag is silver is 0.5, how can we know that therefore there must be an even number of marbles? Well, if the probability of picking silver is 0.5, that's half. So therefore the probability of picking not silver must be 0.5 as well to make it up to 1, which means there must be equal amounts of silver to not silver marbles. So let's pretend that the number of marbles in the box was odd, let's say 15. There'd have to be an equal number of silver to not silver, which means we'd have to have 7.5 of each. But we can't have 0.5 of a marble. Therefore, because the total needs to be divided by 2, because the probability is a half each, we must have an even number of marbles in total.